Hello, Tim from Fairplay Now on the 19th of October 2021, and just got my sort of laptop here in front of me and looking at some of the main news for today. Well, the protests all around the world are continuing, and they're just happening in New York, Greece, Italy, certain parts of Australia, such as Victoria, Switzerland, Luxembourg, I think I saw, Holland, France, just so many people protesting all over the place. And of course we've got our ongoing ones here in this country as well. Just wish the things would get, the pushback of the whole lurgy nonsense going a bit more quickly, but there we go. I think it's just going to be a gradual, slow but sure thing. Other little bits of news I was looking at here. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell dies, apparently of the lurgy. Yeah, right. Don't think so somehow, do you? And it's not just me saying that, and I'm just looking down under the news item at some of the comments. If he hadn't have been fully V'd, it could have been much worse. What else have we got? Had cancer. Seems no one can die of anything but the lurgy these days. And what else have we got? Yeah, at the age of 84, of course it's the lurgy and not old age. Anyone smelling a rat yet? And then here's another one, a classic one. If you were fully V'd, then shouldn't that be the headline? Yeah, exactly. But still, they're just sort of saying, oh yeah, yet another lurgy death here, and it's just very, very predictable, isn't it, really? Looking at a couple of other things here. One from the Sun. Police shield Gove from anti-V mob. That's not really partisan, is it? Sort of painting people like us and as a mob, really, is what they're trying to say. But again, let's just look at some of the comments under there. Time for the politicians to feel some fear of their own making. Yeah, exactly. They won't be able to walk down the street. Politicians need to remember that that they serve the people, not the other way around. Anti-Vers, they are doing the damn job you should be doing, which is holding this government accountable. I think he means the newspaper. Yeah, that is so true, isn't it? So again, on all these headlines, mainstream headlines, they just smack of desperation now. They're just trying to sort of paint the picture that the lurgy is still a threat, which everybody knows it's not, and they're still trying to sort of ramp up the hate against the people who are against having the V, which again I don't think is really translating that much into real life. Not that I've seen. I think some viewers have had problems, but I think for the most part, people out there are pretty decent, and they don't really care too much who has had the thing and who hasn't. But that's no thanks to the mainstream media, is it? So just a couple of other things, a couple of video recommendations. Both of these are courtesy of subscribers, as was the one that I recommended in my last video. I forgot to give a thanks to the subscriber who recommended that as well. But there's two here, subscriber recommendations, so thanks guys. One of them is called This might be 5 years ago, but it is more relevant today, and I'll leave a link to both of these videos in both the comment section and the description box below. But this first one, that one I've just told you the title of, it sounds like, obviously from the title, that it was made about 5 years ago, and it's like a little bit of a spoof thing, set in a classroom, kind of some of these older teenagers sitting there in the classroom, and the new guy comes in and things just get pretty insane. And as the title again suggests, 5 years ago things were getting crazy before all of this lot started happening, all of this nonsense started happening, and you know, things were really getting crazy beforehand, which this video kind of paints the picture exactly. But you have to ask yourself, had things not been getting crazily stupid anyway, would all this nonsense have been even possible? And were things engineered to make things go crazier and crazier and crazier until this was possible? So you know, you have to ask yourself all these questions, really, don't you? But yeah, I won't give too much more away about this video. You have to sort of go and see it, but things get very, very crazy and very, very insane, and you kind of have to ask yourself, is this a spoof, a parody, or is it a prediction for what the future holds? Because it's scarily looking like the latter. But I'll let you go and watch that and you can see what I mean. And I'm just going to finish up on a sort of uplifting note, another video recommendation, and what happens when you refuse quarantine with Harry Thomas. And Harry Thomas, I talked about him in a video a couple of weeks ago. He's the guy who flew back in from Brazil, which was on the red list, and he should have really gone into one of these hotels for 10 days, but he kind of stood his ground. He knew a little bit of common law, and he had access to someone else who had even more knowledge on common law, and they told him exactly what to say to the authorities. And the upshot of it is that he sort of got away with it without having to go to one of those places, just because he knew a little bit of common law and knew how to stand his ground. And this is the video from 2 or 3 weeks ago, was kind of pretty much when he was really sort of fresh off the plane and away from his little bit of an ordeal. This is an interview that happened only a few days ago, a couple of days ago or whatever, when he had a bit more time to kind of collect his thoughts a bit and sort of tell things maybe a little bit more lucidly than he did when he was still a bit frazzled probably a couple of weeks ago. So obviously another 2 weeks have gone by and he still hasn't had any repercussions or anything of that nature. So it's looking more and more like his strategy has worked. And it's a very interesting, entertaining interview with this lady who's asking the questions, and sort of part of the way through it, about halfway through it, he discusses a 3-step plan that he used to sort of get round the city regulations. So he kind of mentions it a fair way into the video, but he says, you know, there's 3 steps that you have to remember, and then he sort of discusses them. So that's well worth watching just for those 3 steps alone, really. So there's a few thoughts and a couple of videos for you to watch. I'm going to leave it there. Be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.